Hello guys, welcome to InDesign training. Today we are going to look at the basics of InDesign. So let's look at InDesign 101 training. Here I'm using InDesign CC. Is a very powerful application. In fact, there are a lot you can do with this application that you could ever imagine. InDesign is primarily made for publishing of books, magazines, newspapers, and you can also do other things extensively, such as PDF publishing and EPUBs. And beyond that, there are other things you can still accomplish within InDesign. For print and publishing is one of the essential basics of InDesign. Okay, let's now look at how to work around this application, especially for beginners. Okay, now over here I'm using CC. I'm gonna go to file and go to new, start from document. Now this dialog box is very important for beginner to understand. We have the document preset, which is set to default. Then we have the intent. The intent is like the profile or the preset, what you are probably your intention of using this document for the first time. So we want to say for print, you can also go for web or digital publishing, but even if you use for print, you can still accomplish this too with InDesign. Okay, the number of pages is take example, if you are reading a book, how many pages are in that book that you are reading, or a magazine. So this is where you enter the number of pages. Now let's say we want to do something that has up to 10 pages. We can come here and type in 10. And if it's going to be a facing page document, such as magazine and newspaper that have facing pages, you want to make sure you check this. This is very important. Check facing pages. Alright, so we want to start from page 1. So this is the start page. Then we have the primary text frame. In case you want to include that, you can just check it, but we don't need it for now. The paper size, we have various paper sizes in InDesign. We have the A5 and A4, different sizes. You can also click on custom to enter your own custom size and give it a name. Let's say I want to design something like half of A4, which is 4.25 by 5.5. So this is basically A4. So I can give it my own title. I can call it A4 half. A4 half. So when I say add, it's going to add it, and I can click OK. So I have A4 half, I have A4, I can come back to A4 half. So you can do so many other things inside. Then the number of columns in individual pages, we can use 1, but I'm going to just leave it to 1. I will show you how to increase that later on. The margins are the margins that will be within the edges of the pages. Then you can come here and set them. We are using 5 inches and our measurement is also in inches, so 0.5 inches for the margin is okay. Then this option, you can turn it on for the bleed and slug. Slugs are all those information that is put on top of a particular design for notation's sake and things like that. Okay, then we have the bleed, in case you are going to have overprint or maybe color spillage, so the places that will bleed out of the design in case you want to perforate your design at the end of the day. So we might want to add something like 0.5, the same thing with the margin, or maybe 0.2. so as long as this is checked, it's going to constrain these values to this other bus. Okay, then we can turn on preview. This is the advantage of this. In order to check this design, you can see we have a bleed of 0.2, then we have a margin of 0.5. maybe this margin is way too high, we can use 0.2 for the margin. Then we can use 0.1 for the bleed. Alright, so we have something a little bit elegant to work with. So that's the essence of this preview button. And also, if I scroll down, I can't do that. I have to say okay. Then I can turn off preview. You can see, you can turn it back on. With these settings, I think I have the kind of thing I want to work with. I'll click OK. Now this is the way InDesign look like. We have all the 5 menus, then we have this property bar and the tools. Then we have so many panels here that does a lot of things. And the thing you want to get into how to use is, firstly, is navigation. If you hold down the Alt key and scroll in and out, you're actually scrolling. Then if you hold down your space bar, you can pan around like this. Okay, then if you press Ctrl 1, you're going to have your 100% zoom. Okay, then Ctrl 0 is going to bring this to your window size. So take note of the navigations. All right, so in case we want to see the settings again, we can still go back to File and Document Setup. So here we can see those settings. You can also make changes to them. Maybe change this to landscape and click OK. So we have more like a landscape format. Let's go back and change that to portrait. Okay, so we come back here and change it to portrait. So this is it. If we scroll down, we can see we have the facing page. This is actually page 1. Then we have page 2, 3, 4. They are facing pages the way it should be in real life. Then we have the last page as well. Okay, we have all total of these pages. We have 10 of them. So we have, if you look over here, we have 1 to 10. We can switch to any of this page. We can go to page 1 from here. We can go to page 5 and so on and so forth. Now you can also use the page panel to navigate just by double clicking. You can see I'm on page 10, double click, I'm on page 1, I'm on page 2. So the page panel is going to come in handy for you in terms of navigation. Okay, now these are the tools we want to make use of. The first tool I want to show you here is the InDesign page tool, which you can actually use to change the page in case you want to change this to like A4. So we have A4. Instead of going to File, Document Setup, you can change the page. Then you can also change this to A4 half back. So any of these pages can be made changes to individually using the InDesign page tool. Okay, so make use of it the way you want to. Now we want to start adding information here so that we can get how this is going to look at the end of the day. Now to add a text, you are going to grab this type tool and just click. Now before I do this, I want to show you something. We can decide to add a layout, I imagine, and column, so that we have at least 3 columns. So we can come here and add 3 columns. So we have 1, 2, 3 columns inside of InDesign, and that is just to this page. We don't have any column here. So if we go to margin and columns, so we have 3 columns for this as well. So you can see preview is on. We can click OK for that. So we can also enable layer adjustment. So then we can do the same thing for this if we want. So you can do the same thing. Now one thing you should take note of is that we've added this column from the beginning, we don't have to do it separately. Okay, so if we go to Document Setup and we don't have the option to add columns inside of this setup. So when we are setting up our page, that is from File, New, Document, if we've indicated, let's choose A4 half, then we make this 3 columns and choose 10 pages and click OK. So the rest of the pages will just have this, just for you to take note of. But since we didn't do that, we have to do it manually using this other method of adding the number of columns. Okay, all right, so once we are through doing this, so let's add one more on this other one. All right, now we can navigate back by double clicking on the page panel to page 1. Then we want to put some frames here for test. So we can just grab our test tool and we click and drag. You can see the text will automatically snap to this place. So I have a bunch of tests here which I can copy, Ctrl C, then paste it here. Now these tests, they are pretty much large, so I want to reduce their size. So once you click on the test, can select everything if you want to. Then you can come over here, let's make it 10, so that will reduce the size. Then we have other options of justifying the text in case we want to. Then we also have option of changing the font size to any of these font. This is pretty much a basic training, so we are just going through the overview of InDesign, kind of. So let's just choose Chila. Oops, maybe we just, let's look for something area. Okay, so you can see that. Now if you look here, this is not all the text that we copied. InDesign has the ability to tell you that you still have more text by showing you this red box with a plus in it. So if you click on that, you can thread that same text into another column like this. So we have threaded this text from this to this. If you want to find out the thread of this, you can turn on from your view extracts, then you go to your show text thread, so you can see that this text was threaded from here to here. So let's thread this from here to here as well. Alright, so we still have more text, so we can thread that to the next page. Now if you've typed this text in Microsoft Word, you can place it naturally in InDesign. So we can keep on threading this until we populate this place with all the text we want. Okay, so let's just do this. Okay, we still have more, so we thread this to this. So the essence of showing the text thread is if another person is going to work on this document, he or she will be able to understand that this text, the way the text flow actually. Okay, so let's add this to this as well. And this is just a demo test, we still have more of it, so let's thread it here. So we have more, just click on that thread icon, thread another one here, we thread another one here. So one more, we are threading them inside, and we thread this inside. So we also thread this here. So there is still more. So I can also thread more than one column if I choose to, just for you to know that, but I don't want to. Okay, let's thread this also. So this text is merged, so we thread this. Okay, so I'm gonna just speed up the work in order so that we can do other things. Okay, we are done here. Let's look at, I've been able to thread the text from page 1 to the entire page. You can see where the text is going. Then the next thing for us to look at how to do is, let's say we want to add a heading on this first page. So how do we do that? I want to remove this show text thread from view extras, then we hide it so we don't want to see it. So if I move these, you can see I can move those individual text frames. So I can select the three and move them down a little bit so that they will stand on the margin. So this is where I want to put my title, so I'll just select a new text frame and click and drag somewhere here. So I'm going to type welcome to InDesign 101 training. Okay, so I know what you're thinking, is this going to look like this? No, we are going to format it a little bit, just put it to the center, choose any font that we like, can give it spacing here. Then what if we want to change the color? We have here where we can fill it with color. I just come over here and choose any of this color. Okay, so you can see we have that text. So let's move it down a little bit. It doesn't matter if it's overlapping the frame. Okay, so you can see welcome to InDesign training. Now let's say we have a small image that we want to import and put it inside of InDesign. We can do that. We just go to file, place, then we navigate to, let's navigate to where we have Early Bell logo. So we can just see Early Bell logo. We just double click on it. Now we can just click and import it. Now this logo is portable network graphic logo PNG. I'm just scaling it down. Now notice when I scale it down, I don't see anything. That's because I'm scaling the frame. So if we want to scale down the actual image, we have to double click, then we can scale down the actual image very small like this. Okay, then when we are done, we can also, the frame now is, we can see the size of the frame larger than that of the image, but if you double click on this edge, it's going to fit the frame to the image size. So we want to put that image inside of this place, and we also want this text to wrap around the image. So what we need to do is to open up our text wrap. We can't see the panel here for that now, but if you hover over to Windows, you're going to see text wrap. So we want this to wrap around the object, then we want it to detect the edges. You can see those tests are actually wrapping around it. Okay, so we can stick this down, it's going to come in handy for us. So let's reduce this image a little bit more. Okay, yeah, something like this. So we can double click on the frame again to fit it, and we want the image to be maybe somewhere here, so the text will actually wrap around it. Okay, now for drop cap, you know, is something that you might want to know how to do. Just double click on this place, select you can select this, it doesn't matter if you don't. Now you're going to switch from your character formatting control to paragraph formatting. So that is actually where we are going to see the drop cap. Now we have these options. If I hover my mouse over it, you can see drop cap one or more characters. Then here we have drop cap number line. Then here we have space before. So if we increase this to like 1 or 2 or 3, so we are beginning to have a drop cap. Now we can increase it to affect the second character. So that's what this means. So I'm going to just reduce this back to 0. I only want the drop cap to affect this. Then you can still give this the drop cap a separate color if you want to. You can just select it as it is and give it a separate color, so more like the newspaper and stuff. So this is, I believe you've learned something today. This is just a 101 training for InDesign, and a lot of this training will be coming to you on InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Cinema 4D, Maya, and so on and so forth. We'll also be helping people to solve some challenges that they are having in any of these computer applications here in earlybell.com. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel. We make tutorials every 48 hours to update on this channel. Okay, I believe you've learned something. If you have any comment, kindly leave it in the description box below. We'll quickly attend to that. Okay, bye for now, see you later.